candidate for District Number 7, William Breckenridge. William, how are you?
Great, and how are you?
I'm good. I guess, and the first question that I ask everybody, William, that joins the show for this segment is why did you decide to throw your hat into the ring and enter politics now?
Well, for the past 15 years, I've been voluntarily, working on city committees such as the Heritage Advisory Committee and other committees of the city, and also on voluntary societies as well, and affecting and actually getting things changed and done. And so I've always had a great interest in that. My background is in school, university was classics and geography and history and the urban experiences, and also in psychology and business. So I've always had this interest in that, and I really want to use that experience to bring the best value as a councillor to Halifax South Downtown District and also to Halifax itself. And, also I'm a lifelong resident of the district, and this is my home, and I really deeply care about it, and it means so much to me to see the city become a better place to live. We really need to focus on quality of life overall.
William, you've been obviously out knocking on people's doors in the district. What are they telling you on the doorstep?
Well, as a banker, and that I've been discussing a lot with the thousands of doors I've been knocking on about our taxes, and people feeling that we're not getting the best bang for our buck, as it were. And I've been making it very clear that we need to restructure how we're doing taxes, particularly for people around in the condos, and that they feel very overwhelmed with that. And I want to take a full review of those plans and get that finally settled so that people can have that sense of a little relief and reorganization. Our assessments and the way taxes are being done, it's just completely out of sync of what services are being provided, and we need to review departments and see where we can really trim down in the over expenditures, to be quite frank with you on that.
William, you mentioned assessments. Can the city influence those? As I understand it, those assessments come from the province.
They do come from the province. There was a point in time, as a historian, I look back, and there was a time when the city had control over that, but then the province moved that away from the city's control. And, one of the things that I would like to see is to go to the province and ask them, how can we do these assessments and better, and ask them, is there a procedure where we can work together to get this working better for taxpayers, particularly in the urban core, and see how that's being taxed? Because, if you're closer to a bus stop, then, you shouldn't be paying those kind of taxes on your assessments and things that you are. If you're further away, there's a definite disconnect, and I'd even go so far as to ask the province, perhaps the city can take that assessment evaluation back over, and then you have rates and assessments under the same umbrella. That's a possibility, but we need some explanation around it. I'm quite willing to put those ideas forward to council and see what we can do to get this a better system for us. And when we do that, then we can tackle the money-wise. If we have the money, then we can tackle the real harder issues like housing and transportation and traffic and all that we need to address. But if you don't have the money to do it, well, you're in trouble, right?
William, you also said that some of the money that already is being collected is being misspent. Can you identify a couple areas for me?
For those couple of areas, I really think on capital projects. There's been a number of capital projects from Springana Road to the pool on the common where they did not look at the full history of everything. So they had to overspend. There was things that came up that meant they overspent. Well, if they had done better their homework, like the most recent one that was in was about Almond Street and the tram tracks. They could have looked on, there's maps in City Hall. They could have knocked on my door. I would have told them there's tracks under there, and those are the kind of things where it's due diligence. It's about doing your homework first. And another example, even for Halifax Water, Halifax Water doesn't know where a lot of the sewer lines are coming into houses. I've had that with my own home. So that leads to more expenditures, City, if you're doing major capital projects, do your homework with that. And that's where I come in with research in that, is if I was a councillor, I would know where those things are. I know where the identification, especially in our district and even in the North End, where these issues are. And I would be able to say, did you budget for this correctly? Because having 35% contingency budgets for miscellaneous items is a bit high to have. So why don't we lower that, get things more efficient, and be on the right track,
William, we've only got about a minute left. District 7, obviously, lots of transit there. That has been a hot button through the campaign. How do we fix transit in the downtown? How do we fix transit in District 7?
In District 7, as a transit user myself and someone who walks a lot, and coming from a family where my father just retired from transit, one, we need to have better engagement of the bus operators and the riders to have that better communication, and management needs to listen to them on that. Second of all, in these downtown areas, to have a service back like Fred, where it was free service, and encourage people. And we have to look at the security, and we have to encourage people to use it. So we have to make the buses safe and more efficient. And that means also looking at how to reorganize some of the roads so that transit can move more efficiently on those roads with bidirectional signaling and other measures where the buses can go through the lights faster than the cars can if a bus comes up. We don't have that everywhere, so we need a more centralized traffic control system in place, particularly in the urban cores. I've done a lot of traveling to cities in Europe and that, and they have these systems in place, and it makes transit work better.
William, for those that want to learn more about you, how do we find out more info?
Well, I have my website, willbreckenridge.ca. I also have Instagram and Facebook as well. And I have some good content on there. I'm sure they'll provide a few smiles on that too. I try to show some more personality as well on all of these channels, because I think a councillor needs to have some good open communication and be personable with everything that goes on. So, it's about knowing your planning, knowing your people, and getting out there and being engaged. And that's what the Southland needs. We've had a long time of not having that.
William, I appreciate your time. Good luck in the election.
Thank you so much.
That is William Breckenridge in District 7. Need to stop down and take a break.